let's have a look. This is funny and hilarious, and I need your thoughts on that.
This is fun though.
So Islam, really, what we just said, that like it's all about encroachment. It's all about, and then people become such mentally enslaved that they actually can't think for anything themselves. Like, for example, you would ask yourself a question: is buying fake YouTube subscribers just to boost up your numbers to seem more influential than what you actually are? Is that an ethical thing to do, or not an ethical thing to do, or it's unethical? Nuria, what's your just normal answer, just using your own
Unethical,
faculties?
mate.
It's unethical. What do you reckon?
Wait, unethical or ethical to do? To buy
YouTube subscribers to appear more influential than you really are,
and they're not real subscribers?
yeah. Well, yeah, no, obviously they're not. Yeah, it's
Because you
unethical.
bought them, so that they're not.
Yeah. It's lying, I guess. Like, it's misrepresentation. So I guess
exactly. But
who's bought some?
but no, I haven't bought them. But apparently you need information. You need a fatwa for that as well. And Khamenei has given a fatwa.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
And he said the new fatwa bans fake likes and follows on social media. According to convention, the Shia faithful, I get it. Like, he says that, okay, and he uses common sense as well. I think he's put on the spot. He's like, what do you reckon about this? In religious matters, Khamenei, who was swiftly named a Marja. What does Marja mean? Amen.
Marja taqlid. In Shia, especially in 12 Shia Islam, you need people to follow, right? Because you need experts in religion to know what's religiously correct and wrong. So right and
kind
wrong.
of like a mufti.
So kind of like a mufti, but somebody that. So if you have a marja, then if you just listen to what the marja says is right or wrong, and if he's wrong, you don't have to worry. You're not responsible, right? So you just completely follow the marja, and you're covered. You don't have to worry about making the wrong decisions. And a lot of Sunnis actually criticize Shias for having marjas because they think like you're blindly following a person rather than actually following Islam. You're basically blindly following humans. So
from
Sunnis
what you said,
that
is exactly what it sounds like, though, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yes.
So imagine, you have an opportunity to speak with some really brutal people, like very authoritarian people. Okay, and then you ask a question. Sir, could you please help me? Like, I've been going through this problem, and I really want your opinion on that, because I can't do anything. I can't make up my mind. What is the ruling on selling real or fake likes and follows and on platforms like Facebook and Instagram? I mean, I thought about it for a moment, took a deep breath, and looked into the oblivion and thought, let me see, did Prophet Muhammad say anything on that or not? And then I thought, oh, well, it's fake, so it shouldn't be right. If it's real, it is not inherently wrong in cases when nothing corrupt is involved, but it is not allowed if it's fake and made up. Well, in that case, then you shouldn't be worshiping Allah because it is fake and made up.
All right, let me Steelman this position. Okay, let me defend Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay, so first of all, when you say let me think about what Muhammad said, the whole point of a marja is because there's not enough hadith about everything. That's why you need a marja, right? Because if there was, then you could just read it and you would know what to do, right? You need a marja to basically use the scholarly work of others to know the spirits of the purpose behind all these hadiths, the Sunnah and the Quran, to be able to use the logic behind the arguments for other things to apply it to things that you don't have any rulings over in Islam for, right? So that's the whole point of like marjas, right? But maybe somebody would argue the reason why we needed this is because for the sake of Islam, you would say that it would be allowed, right? Sometimes, especially Shia Islam allows deception more than Sunni Islam. I don't know if you know about that, right? Like a lot of people. Exactly.
Dude,
right?
there's so many different types. Taqiyya is like the basic one. There's so many more.
There are different types of taqiyya. There's taqiyya, like a lot of times when Shias try to introduce the concept of taqiyya, they will only introduce you to the concept of taqiyya where you do it to save your life, right? But no, there's other types of taqiyya that is not necessarily for your saving your life. It's just like good for Islam. You
Yeah,
know what I
there's
mean?
Oh,
Takia,
really?
Kitman, Doria, Taysir, Darura, and Maruna. I had no idea,
Yeah.
but
So somebody might argue like, listen, so yeah, deception is not always bad. If this is going to be strategically in our advantage, to if we're like glorifying, I don't know, the Islamic Republic of Iran, or if this helps us do marketing or PR or bring more people to Islam, maybe this would be a good thing, right? So having a fatwa on this on it like that would make less people think like, consider this as a viable strategy. However, there are ways to get out of a fatwa, right? Because when Khamenei came up with his fatwa against nuclear weapons, a lot of people assume, well, that's the end of it. There's no way for Iran to have nuclear weapons if Khamenei had the fatwa against it, right? And I couldn't, for a very long time, I couldn't see a way out of it, right? You have a fatwa against it, right? But now I'm saying that there actually are more people are arguing, more Shia people are arguing, saying arguments on how you could get out of it, sneaky. But here's the thing. You both know eating pigs is haram in Islam, right?
yeah,
Right, based on the Quran itself, right?
yeah.
However, is eating pigs always bad?
No, you can eat it when you're in fifth, like when you
Dying.
have nothing else.
Exactly, right? So even if you have a fatwa on nuclear weapons, if you could argue, come up with a way, like if you could go against, if you could like, when Allah said something is haram and it's still not haram when you're saving your life, then who's Khamenei? Khamenei is way below Allah. So if Khamenei has a fatwa against nuclear weapons, but then you argue that we need nuclear weapons for our survival, all of a sudden the fatwa takes a back seat, right? So there's all that. Yeah, you can take that into account as well. But my question about this news item is that Facebook and Twitter are banned in Iran. All right. So what is this about? The interesting thing is that Facebook is banned, Twitter is banned, YouTube is banned, even though Khamenei himself has a Twitter account. So rules
It
for
was
thee,
banned as
but not
well
for me.
recently, or one of the accounts
Yeah,
associated
but
with him.
he had, but they banned it. He didn't close it. Like he had, even though Twitter's banned in Iran, he has it, right? So
Yeah, but it's kind of like China. It's kind of like China, but Twitter is banned in China, but the media person has a Twitter account.
Yeah, so when he says fake followers are banned, is he just talking about Iranian-made social media, or he's talking about Twitter, Facebook? Like I don't understand. But
Yeah,
and also this is not an official. I don't know, because when Khamenei issues an fatwa, his office like issues like an official fatwa or something. This I don't know if you could consider this like, what is the criteria for something by Khamenei to be fatwa? Is this are people just trying to hype this up to make the news more interesting? Because is everything when Khamenei is sitting around and just giving commentary about things, is the commentary itself just like saying it enough for people to be able to describe it as a fatwa, or does his office need to actually issue and stamp and be like, this is an official fatwa by Khamenei? Because it sounds like he was just commenting on it. I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, it looks like the question was sprung up on him, and then he just went with his gut feeling. Oh, if it's
I don't
real,
think
then
that.
fine.
I don't think that makes it a fatwa. I think this is maybe they're just like the news. The news is just running with.
Maybe
this
didn't even know what Facebook and Instagram.
Gordon Blue saying, "I don't think Amina has thought about it as much as Armin, to be honest."
Yeah, because he was sprung. Yeah, because this question was sprung on him, and then he just said it. But anyway, so the Supreme Leader then expressly banned Shia followers from buying and selling online likes and follows. So he did says he did. If you say it like a statement, then obviously it becomes a decree. But anyway, just in other news, just straight after this, so okay, should we buy online likes or not? And then straight from casual question to a gross violation of human rights. What about can women include a clause in marriage contracts allowing them to divorce their husbands if the man in question takes another wife? So giving the woman the right of divorce is invalid unless the woman is granted the power by the husband, so that if he marries again, she can be granted a divorce on his behalf. In such a case, it's valid. But
what a beautiful condition. Why, thank you.
Yeah. I give you a condition. I let you divorce me.
If I marry again as well, that's the only condition. Otherwise, you put up with my crap and there's no way out for you. You are hostage.
Yeah, exactly.
So why I don't understand. Why do you need the husband to allow you to divorce him? Because if he could just divorce you. Instead, he could just use the rights that he already has. Like you don't even need to allow. You know, we're like, okay, so for example, your wife wants to divorce you and you don't allow her. But if you all of a sudden want to allow her to divorce you, wouldn't that just
You
be
could do it
you
yourself.
divorcing her?
Yeah,
Like,
it's useless.
like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, you know, the husband is like, I want to divorce you, but I don't want to do the paperwork. So instead, I'm going to allow you to divorce me.
no, but okay. Now let me defend them now. Like, because initially, when
Okay,
we know
good.
when people are getting married, when they're freshly in love, and there's no prenup, there's equivalent to prenup. So then they can say, okay, okay, darling, I would not leave you. I would not marry any other woman. She goes like, no, but I still doubt it. You know, you're gonna do it like all other men in Iran do it, or a lot of them do it. He's like, okay, if I do it, you can divorce
Most
me. Okay,
don't.
now I can get it in writing. So then that's probably that way. But then now he's married, and now 4 years later he wants, sorry, honey, I need to get another wife. You know, I need to follow Sunnah. And then she's like, remember this clause. And then he says, damn it.
No, I'm just saying, like, well, that option is not there anymore. That the only option is that if I allow it at the time. So
No,
so
I think
it
it's at the
just
start. No, it's adding a clause. It says that adding
yeah,
a
but
clause is the marriage
I thought
certificate.
I thought the news was like they were wondering if they could add that clause, and the answer was no, right? Was that the answer? That you
No,
cannot add
yeah,
that
so you
clause.
can't add that clause unless your husband allows you to add that clause on the
Yes.
condition that he's marrying again.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
he's going to
okay.
allow
I
that.
got it.
You can add that
Yes.
clause, but you have to ask for the permission at the time of
So
marriage.
what I
Yeah.
think as well why they've attributed it to if the husband wants to get married again is a bit dark, because I know what you're saying, Armin, in terms of like the power's already there, but men in a situation, Islamically speaking, from a divorce perspective, by saying talaq 3 times, a man can like hold that over a woman, and a woman, except for like in countries like Pakistan and Tunisia where they've pushed like seek a divorce through the courts and get a khulla, a woman is usually trapped at the behest of those 3 talaqs, and a man can always revoke them or take them back or say he was in a state of anger and all of these things to get out of that talaq thing. But this is the one time where they're giving the woman like enough of it, like she can put her foot down and say, oh, the divorce is full and final for me if he decides to get married again. So again, it's not very helpful because you're trapped either way, but it's just saying that is the only way out for you is if he marries someone else, because other than that, we
Right.
have no right of
But-
divorce.
Okay, I still don't understand. Because they're saying like you could add this clause only if he agrees. But wasn't that already like already with accept like? I mean, technically, you don't even
No,
need
because
to say
obviously
that
he could
because
marry both of you and keep both of you, right?
I know, no. So the idea is like, can I add this clause before I get married? And they're like, only if he agrees. Like, well, if he doesn't agree, he would just not get married. Like,
Yeah,
it was
but
already if he agrees. No.
no, but at the time of the marriage, he is relinquishing a certain right. That was saying. So later on, he might want to change his mind, but he's already given the clause.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, if the wife wants to add something as a clause, add something to the marriage, right? If he doesn't agree, even with this commentary, the husband could be like, "No, forget it. I'm not going to get married if you add that clause." Like, it already requires his approval without any of this commentary, because he could just simply be like, "If you add that, I'm not going to marry you."
Yeah, that's fine. But then they would not marry. So that's okay. But
They actually
it's
highlighting this as like this is a win for women.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So anyway, all right. So I think this
and
story.
listen, we're all trying to get into his head. None of us can. That's the problem here.
Here's the thing. By the way, I'm not against men being able to marry multiple women. By the way. I don't know if that's
as long as both ways. We've said it before. As long
as
women are allowed to do that too. Otherwise, it's manipulation. Well. So even manipulation can't really be illegal per se. If you're a willing participant, if you want to be,
is it manipulation?
But that's gambling. Yeah, house always wins. But we can't take away people's rights to gamble. So people, if you want to be,
we can't take away people's rights to manipulate.
If you want to, no, but I was saying manipulation.
Yes, you have the right to manipulate.
You do.
You should have that.
You have a right to be manipulated as well.
Fool me once, shame on you.
I think Islam doesn't allow enough. I think Islam doesn't allow enough wives. Why only 4? Like who does? Why are you capping? Why are you putting in limitation?
Yeah, because not all men are as well endowed as you and Muhammad are. Okay, so
on the grand scheme of things, for the human rights issues we can pick up with Islam, let's not go for why men should have more. Let's focus on women first and how they're stuck.
Well, as a guardian of men's rights, I want to know why Islam is violating men's rights and kept putting a cap of 4 on it. Okay, I have to protect my men.
Well, and how bad is that only applies to all Muslim men, whereas Muhammad gets a free pass for as many as he wants.
Well, he's dead, so I don't care.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.